Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Ascension Diaries YouTube channel. My name is Alexis. It is September 24th at 7:04 p.m. and we have lots of data to go over today. But first off, I would like to do a card reading really quickly for the collective. I wanted to do it right in the beginning just as a thank you again to all of you who are here. For those of you who leave wonderful, amazing, so very, very kind, fantastic comments below the videos, for those of you who like, for those of you who've subscribed, for those of you who've sent people, your friends in my direction, who message me on Facebook all day and Instagram. I'm constantly getting to speak with you all and hear about all the amazing things you're doing. So I want to do a reading for us first, and then I'll get into the rest of the information. So I would like to put into these cards our highest timeline information that would be beneficial to those of us who are watching right now to receive a message about. What is it that's coming for us? What is it that we should be aware of for the next few days? It is Monday. Let's talk about this week. What is it coming for us this week? Oh, we got one card come out. Okay, so I just did a reading today and I've received this exact card once before, so this is very interesting to me. We received the Ace of Fire. So the Ace of Fire is about an exciting new opportunity, a career advancement, a change in your life, and with a fiery energy. So it's happening fast and it's happening powerfully. I want this to be able to light a fire within you and know that there is exciting new opportunity coming your way. There's always things to be excited about in your life, no matter how big or small, but I would encourage you to look forward to something like that happening, because it seems like it's going to be unfolding in the grander scheme of things. It seems like, for those of us who've been watching what's going on, I think there is some exciting stuff that's going to be happening this week. This week feels pretty good. It's already going by so fast, so it feels like it's already I feel like it's flying by. It just started. So first off, before I get into it, I wanted to let you know some things about me personally, and then I will get into all of the data that I have ready for us. So I have been in the current living situation that many of you know. I have moved from the liquor store to, I work at a grocery store now that I actually really, really love. And I know I've talked to you about how much I love it. And currently, with this economy and with what I'm doing, that is not sustaining me, obviously, to a point where I can live on my own. And the work I do with people, with the online sessions, it also isn't quite there yet. And my family has been so gracious to let me stay here and help build the business. But now it's time for me to move on. It's time for me to spread my wings. It's time. I'm feeling the pressure that this little bird needs to leave the nest again, and I currently am not able to sustain myself to do that. So I wanted to let you know again that as a business, and the business that I have been growing successfully and been going really well, is counseling. I have a psychology degree. I excelled in counseling. I'm obviously excelling at it from the years of experience I've now had doing it online for free. And now I am offering counseling one-on-one once a month, a monthly check-in, a monthly session where we do a guided meditation and energy clearing. So I'm going to lead you through a meditation. We're going to clear your field, can make sure you have an aligned connection, connecting you to your highest timeline and to your soul mission. It's really great to have somebody who can guide you into that space, and it's been incredible, really, to realize how talented, I would say, maybe not talented, but adept I am at doing such a thing, and it's been very transformational. And so with this one-on-one that we do, we meet once a month for an hour-ish, an hour and a half usually, and we do the meditation. We discuss, we review what we did last month and what we talked about last month. We review new things that may have come into your month this month, with your whole spiritual awakening, your whole awakening in general, your growth as a person. And we will then pull tarot cards as well to lay out what it is that is coming for you next and discuss how that makes you feel, of course. And then other little tidbits and information that I channel in about certain questions or concerns about raising your vibration, about your mission, about your business, about all this stuff, as I have experience now in all these areas. Of course, I want to give it to you. I want to be doing this work for free, to be honest with you. I want to be able to walk around in the streets, basically, and do what I can for anyone who's nearby. But that's not the place that we're currently living in, but it's transforming. And thankfully, it's transformed in a way where I can do it over the internet, and I don't have to walk in the streets and talk to you. But again, it is a service that I am providing for a monetary exchange, and it's a way to help sustain me and hopefully allow me to afford somewhere to live. I'm about halfway to that point, and which is really good for a starting business. This business started really in January of this year, and it's incredible how well it's been going. I feel very, very blessed for those of you who do sessions with me. I'd love to hear if you'd place how it's been for you in the comments. I would really appreciate that. And yes, so if you are interested in this one-on-one with me to do once a month, again, this is a counseling session. This is for your own mental, physical, spiritual, it's for all levels of health. I truly am a dedicated counselor, and I truly, I want to form a relationship with you. It's great. It's amazing to have support and compassion through this process. I know how difficult it is. We're going through it together. And if you have the means to invest in yourself and your own health in such a way, I'd really appreciate bringing you on into my monthly circulation of people. So how you can do that is you can go onto my Patreon account. And so for those of you who don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a subscription-based website for individuals, for creators, for people like me. And the taxes are all taken care of. And everything, so it's obviously legitimate, and it'll automatically pull out the payment every month from your account. And so it's really easy for me, of course, and it's more of a sustainable way for me to keep moving forward. And all it costs once a month is $50, and I'm not changing that price for the foreseeable future, as I want it to be an accessible amount. Your health is definitely worth $50. And I would be very, very happy to have you on board, and also have food in my belly and a roof over my head for this skill and everything that I have been guided to very strongly to do and practice. And I know it's going to be sustaining me, and I have faith that there's going to be enough of an interaction between what I'm giving and what I'm receiving, so I will be watched over and protected and taken care of. And so if you would like that service, if you would like to add me into your monthly schedule, I'd really, really like to meet you. I'd really like to work with you. And you can do so by going onto my Patreon account. The link is just underneath. You can see it's right here on the screen too. And you can scroll down to the monthly sessions right here with myself, and you can pledge. You can join the tier right here. Or for those of you who know about the Unity Bus, I'm also opening up a project where for $20 a month, you can donate towards this project, which is basically me wanting to basically become mobile in a way and do more events, create events. It's crazy how many people in this community have much more financial power in a way to be able to make and create these projects, but they aren't doing it. And I'm tired, honestly, and I've met enough of them. I've worked with enough of them, and I don't know why they're just, maybe that's just not their path, but I feel fiercely that to continue this movement and continue this growth and to continue helping humanity, we need to be mobile, and we need to be doing events and creating spaces, healthy spaces for people to meet, people like us to meet and make connections and enjoy ourselves too, and engage in conversation about our own ascension. And so if you would like to support that project too, you could also pledge $20, And in return, once a month, I'm going to do a recorded video where I'm going to do card readings for everybody who's pledged. So one after another, I'm just going to pull cards. You shuffle, whatever cards fly out, that's the cards for you. I'm going to record it, and I'm going to timestamp it for everybody who has pledged the $20. You will be timestamped, and you will be able to go to the video and click to the time that your name is on, so you don't have to watch the whole thing, and see what the reading was for you that month. And it's just a simple thank you, and hopefully a very supportive, energetic, supportive exchange that we can do, so I can make this project happen and have the funding to be able to do so, because this is the way I've been guided to look into it and do it. And if you believe in this and this is something you are resonating with on a heart level right now, I would very much appreciate doing that, and I would love to do your reading once in a month on the video. So with that all being said, I just looked down at the time and I've recorded for 11 minutes and 11 seconds, so I've definitely talked enough about all of this, and we can move along. So again, please, if you are interested in having the sessions with me for your own health and wellness and to help support me so I can thrive and be safely accommodated, that would be very much appreciated. So what else are we going to talk about today? Let's get into it. So there has been a lot of Schumann resonance stuff going on in the last few days. It's been blasting every single day. But before I get into that, I wanted to say happy birthday to Lord Ganesh. And it is the end of the 11-day ceremony that is done to basically bring in, at least I'm pretty sure it's 11 days. I might be totally off. It's 11 days, I'm pretty sure, where we are basically welcoming this Lord back into the world. It's incarnating. There's huge ceremonies in India, in Thailand, for this particular deity, the remover of obstacles, which is fantastic. And so a lot of us are going through obstacles right now, and I'm really grateful that today is the day where these obstacles are being removed. So this has been a significant synchronicity for me personally. I watched Jumanji last night, and there was a whole thing about an elephant statue and an elephant and everything, and the elephants are following me and watching me, and I'm honestly reminded of this every day, even if I do forget, it always ends up coming up. So I know I've been connected to this in some sort of way, and for those of you who have been too, there you go. This is a good day. This is a celebration. So shout out to Lord Ganesh. And we're moving on. So with the actual planet, there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot going on in the collective consciousness, in the newsreel, in the Ascension community, the consciousness community. There's been a lot of chit chat. There's been a lot of stuff going on, and for good reason always. But me, I've been talking about this for a whole year on the channel and 2 years with my Facebook page, and I've been watching this process getting more and more intense and these stories coming out. So what is it that we're looking at right now? It seems like there is energy coming in right now that's disturbing the magnetosphere. Not surprised. It has been disturbed quite a bit this last little while. There's an incredible amount of disturbance. All these lines, the magnetic lines, are all over the place. So there's one visual of it. Here's another visual of what's going on so far. There's obviously energy hitting the planet, but nothing too intense. It seems like it's okay right now. The Schumann resonance has been blasting off at the same time nearly every day the last 3 or 4 days. So today again, around 4 in the morning, around 5 in the morning, and then around the same potency too. So it's like quiet, and then boom, hits us at around 5 a.m. This one hit us around 3 a.m. It's been around 3 to 5 a.m. I've been noticing mountain time, of course, is what I'm saying. I am here in North America, mountain time. I think it's GMT 6, but I want to make sure that I'm talking about. So we've been getting blasts every day. There's been the Schumann resonance, the ionosphere has been getting pulses of extra loud Schumann resonance. The Earth song has been getting loud at the same time the past 3 days, which is very interesting. That always gets me excited, because it's like these little upgrades that we're getting or something continually coming in kind of nice to see some consistency with it, consistent upgrading. So the potency of it, the amplitude of it has been around a 76 to about a 60. So I usually report on it when it gets above like 20. So when we're getting up into the 60s and 70s, it's pretty intense. It's not over a huge span of time, but still, same time every day. I was noticing that was happening a lot near the beginning of this year for sure, and a few times within the year, but beginning of the year it's like, oh, every day I was getting the same thing. So we'll see how many days this lasts, or if it's just building up to something, which potentially South Africa in specific has been going off like crazy, which is exciting because South Africa has been pretty quiet, and now that we've switched, we've just hit the equinox, South Africa is now coming into their summer. And so it seems like that the weight or something happens on the planet where, like Alberta, where I was when throughout the summer, was getting the most blasts, and now it seems like it's coming back down to South Africa, which you can see right here with this yellow sensation. Also, weirdly enough, on the graphs, there's been this weird swooping imagery I'm getting here in a few places that I've never really seen before. It's very odd. So there is some interesting readings coming in, but nothing I can have any speculation about. It's just odd. And again, here you can see that the South African line, it blasted up on September 8th, right when we were all starting to freak out about these all the solar observatories and everything. That's when this was all blasting. And so now it's blasting again, so I'm curious what's going to be coming out in the collective consciousness during this time, if there's going to be some sort of connection. We can look at the space weather too, and I'll show you the sun has been generally pretty quiet the last few days, but and the solar wind has been scooping up into about 500 or 150 above average, and it's chilling around 50 above average, 50 kilometers per second above average. Nothing that we haven't seen before. Very, very calm. It's these big flips in the polarity, this blue line, that are interesting to us. So when these flips happen, oftentimes there is some sort of response in the solar wind and geomagnetics. But the x-rays have continually been weird as heck. Like, this graph never used to look like this. There's supposed to be 4 separate lines, 4 separate colors. You're only seeing 2 because they're overlapping. It's very, very odd. We're getting a weird amount of x-ray radiation, it seems like. Bizarre. And we had on this 22nd, the day of the actual equinox, we had an increased level of geomagnetic activity. That means that the solar wind basically was coming in, or whatever energy was coming in, and disturbing and sort of breaking up the magnetosphere, the kind of protective layer around the planet. And when this is getting messed up with, it's often that we're having an actual more connected day, which is kind of funny. So you could tell the magnetics of the planet are changing probably for the better of humanity, because when the magnetics are like at their best, it seems like we are more in our drone-like state and not as connected. And the electrons were really doing some odd behavior too during that storm. So very interesting influx of, and it wasn't electrons, because this is a low amount of electrons. It's diving deep. So and almost a deficit of electrons, which could be an increase of protons. So that is my speculation on that. And we have the sun again. I want to show you how everything seems to be looking normal. We obviously, this is a planet, so everybody knows about that. The lightning has been increasingly average. Again, I haven't seen any anomalies. I've been watching the lightning this whole time. Don't see any anomalies. Don't see any lightning hitting South Africa like crazy to make those readings be the way that they are. It doesn't, it doesn't quite, those dots don't connect. But I keep it on there just so you know. Schumann resonance and lightning are connected in a way, but there is definitely, I haven't seen any evidence of it so far. I may want to look into other sources of lightning capturing, but I have friends who live down there too, and they're just like, no. But the earthquakes have been interesting. Very at the same areas of the world that I've been noticing are erupting. Nothing too bizarre. The earthquakes have just been overly constantly happening. The earth is just like expanding all the time. things are going on. I was sent this particular graph, which is very interesting, and I'm going to be watching this. So right now, based off of the behaviors of everything I'm watching, it's very, very calm and quiet. So this is what maybe the average is going to be looking like. So everybody take a good peek about what this looks like, and then we're going to watch to see anomalies, and I'm going to learn more about this graph. But I was sent it to keep in the rotation, so I'm going to give it a shot. The global consciousness dot has been in the green for the most of the day. Everybody's been chilling. Nothing too crazy to report, but we do have an Aries full moon, and we also moved into Libra season. So Libra season is a great time to, again, find balance, be social. Find balance and be social are two real big ones for the season. I love Libra season. I am a Libra. My birthday is on the 22nd. So that's exciting. And I'd love to hear about you Libras out there who are watching. How many of you are Libras and have just migrated your way to my channel? I'd love to know about you. And I know about some of you already, don't worry, but we have the sun has entered Libra, and then we have a full moon in Aries. And so I looked up what this sort of means, and it's ironic because Aries is a very fiery, very straightforward, very passionate sort of energy, and the fact that it's on a full moon, which is more of a time of like reflection instead of birthing anew, like a new moon, it's kind of firing up. People are fired up about it. This moon is probably causing more agitation, and so it's interesting because it is in the sign, like we still have Libra giving ourselves a bit of a balance, but there's still aggression, like hot-headed behavior. You may react into situations when in sort of a knee-jerk effect, say or do things in the heat of a moment that we don't really mean. And I don't know how many of you have been experiencing this, but I've been noticing people have been a little wild, a little testy the last couple days. So this potentially is why the moons really do have an effect on us. And most places know that when full moons are coming, they're going to get more craziness in their stores, in the hospitals, things like that. So that is to be looked out for, and we also welcome in the harvest of the moon and welcome in all the gifts that it has given us in this round and lessons and everything, and we're really grateful for that, and we look forward to moving into a new moon cycle. However we feel about the moon right now, it still has an effect on us. There's been a lot of stuff going on about the moon and all the news, and this is another, there's a couple articles here I wanted to show you that I was sent, basically one about global carnage for imminent solar storms to wreak havoc. So there's a lot of carnage, imminent, wreak havoc, storm. All of these words in just the title are very anxiety and triggering words. And this was released on the 23rd, so yesterday. And this is just another article being like, hey, there is potential solar storms coming in that could trigger blackouts. And we've been hearing these stories nonstop. They've been in rotation year after year after year. It seems like they release them and then no solar storm even happens a lot of the time. It's very odd. It's like, I don't understand why, but it's a continual form of communication. And there's another thing that's been in the news a lot, which I'm happy about because I truly feel like I'm going to be involved with this more and talking about this more as the years go by and the channel expands and me as a channel expands. And I get my own space to even be more in tune, and I don't have to, like, I have enough to support myself to really engage and really bring down the information for us and do the work and make the connections and get the community together, the galactic community, who knows. I just have a feeling that it's going to be coming soon. I know I'm going to be protected and looked after, but I know that it's a community effort, and I do need to ask for help, which is another big thing that people don't do. So if you feel like you're needing help, I would recommend that you ask out of humbleness of your heart, of course, not that you feel like you deserve it, but humans are meant to help each other. We are community livers. So people take care of different jobs. I apparently might be taking care of the aliens and the Ascension weather and cosmic weather job. I don't know why, just that's what I do. But anyways, there is aliens in the news constantly. More radio signals, fast radio bursts coming from deep space. An actual object that they, an object is specifically named, called FRB 121102, which is interesting numbering going on here. But talking about a specific object, and they don't really, get too into what this object is. They're just talking about what these bursts can be and how many 100 previously undetected bursts, all these bursts that they're receiving all the time from these places in space. Like, it's hilarious how much information is being received, and like the Solar Observatory and all these places that sort of got messed around with, they're constantly observing for a reason, and there's a reason why I didn't get into that science in the way it is, because it's limiting. I'm getting to do it on my own time, but anyways, that is some info about that. So more about aliens, more about solar weather is in the news. It continues to be put out there for the collective consciousness. I know people are being primed. I know those of you who listen to Q know that the sky is falling week seems to be coming out. I couldn't even find the Q post about that. I didn't stress myself looking for it, but Jace talks about it in his video. If you guys haven't subscribed to Jace's channel, my twin, he is more onto that side of things. But, he still has a similar perspective. He's not making claims or anything, but we're very intuitive about this stuff, and this seems to be our role in this whole thing. So if you want to subscribe to his channel, I'll put the link in the description to his channel. It's called Cosmic Origins, and he talks about this stuff. It used to be called Discerning Disclosure, because he really did focus on Q, because Q has just been distorted, and this intel is being spread into the collective consciousness, and we feel kind of responsible over how the narrative is being formed. And for those of us who are awake and open-minded and intuitive, I think it's important for us to keep a watch of it and keep tabs on it, because we don't want any narrative. We don't want the narrative where they want to roll this stuff out over years and years and years of time. I want the narrative where we're building up people's character and building up their strength, their emotional strength, being like, we've been through a lot as a humanity. We've been through so much. We are strong. We are loving. We are community-based. We are able to handle so much, and to actually build people up and be like, there is something going on, and we want you to be prepped and prepared and be fully honest and authentic, and be like, we want you to know that there is stuff going on, and we want to make sure that it's not going to cause anyone any emotional trauma. So, building up people need to be built up. All they are ever done is knocked down. We are made to feel that we are stupid, that we are emotionally completely out of control of ourselves, even though every single day is an emotional thing. Every single day we go through challenges. It's a challenge to live in a slave society when you are a free sovereign being, and growing up as a child being told all these things that don't sound right, don't feel right, and having to kind of sell ourselves to this system because we're the ones making it work. So anyways, I believe that the more we empower each other, and I hope that there's going to be more of an effort to be like, we really are able to do this. We are capable. We are amazing. We are the human beings. We are evolved. We are assisted, and we are divine. And I just feel personally that there needs to be way more of that, instead of all this nonsense lies around stuff to try and just prep and plant seeds in the collective consciousness. But all the seeds that are being planted are alongside negativity and fear and ideas that the basic average human being is not a good person and not a good human, and that everybody is suspicious and everybody's this and everybody is lying. And it's like, no, you are the only ones that are lying, and you're making us feel like, everybody's lying to us too. It's just ridiculous in my opinion. And one major thing, I really don't know how I'm going to be able to help, but just talking to you right now makes me feel a little better. Like, you are awesome. We are in a system, a web of lies, and they keep weaving more lies to try and bring out the truth. And it's just, in my opinion, just ridiculous. And that could be wrong, and that could just be my own filter and my own path to still figure out. But I know that they know intensely the psychology of human beings. I know that they know what could empower them. I know what they know that could bring up their emotional, mental strength to be able to handle the changes that really are happening, but instead they're doing it in this weird backdoor lie all the time, nonstop, and they're rolling out the lies over and over, and they're like, it's gonna take years, and I'm just like, I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of even all of these drops with Q, because it's just stringing people along. And while this old system and people are resigning from their jobs and things like that that are stated in the posts being like, yo, this person's done, this person's resigning or needs to go, and then months or a month later they resign. It's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, there are people dying, there are children being traded, and there is people who are slaves. Most of us are slaves to this dollar, to these military budgets, to all this stuff. And it's just, to me, it just seems like that they're just trying to keep all of their hierarchies and systems, but over time it's going to shift, and I just am not satisfied with that. And so that's why I have this channel. That's why I am supported, crowdfunded, and I offer my training as in a psychology and counselor and Ascension and all this stuff to people for very, very, this is not a price you would get with any other therapist. It's very expensive to go get help and see healers, and it's just ridiculous for that too. And I get it. For some, it makes sense because they are on their own, but people who are in the system, and it takes years and years to get your classifications, it takes years to get an office, it takes all these things, you got to sell yourself over and over and over to be allowed to practice and be a healer, and then you're not even allowed to do all these other things because you have to remain in these sort of restrictions and stuff. So I was like, I'm not dealing with that. I want to help people. I know I can help people. I know I have an integrity, and if it's not going to work, it's not going to work, but at least I tried, and it's been working. I'm halfway to my goal, and I really appreciate it. So if you would like that, if you would like counseling and you would like a one-on-one session, just, for your own health, I'm here for you. And I know I've said it 14 times, but I really, really mean it. And I really am expanding into being self-sufficient, and it's been a hard journey, but I've been keeping to my morals, and that's what I think all of us need to do. I think the world needs to do that. And if I think the world needs to do that, I have to display that myself and do it first. And that's my spiel about that. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you again for subscribing, liking, commenting. All of your likes and your comments bring the videos I do higher up in the algorithms so other people can see them, and I can spread this vibration, our vibration, to the internet and make it as like my energetic vote on how I want things to go. And I hope that more of you start making videos and content and talking about this stuff too. And if this has spurred any sort of thoughts in you, I'd love to hear them. And until next time, I love you all very, very much. Goodbye, angels.